If you are a woman over 50 and you are waking up looking older than when you went to bed, you are missing the most critical biological window of your life. We often think of aging as a slow, inevitable slide that happens largely due to sun exposure, stress, and genetics while we are awake. But the shocking scientific truth is that the vast majority of what we call aging, the deepening of wrinkles, the accumulation of stubborn belly fat, and the slowing of cognitive sharpness is actually the result of failed repair processes while you sleep. You aren't just sleeping to rest anymore. Biologically speaking, you are sleeping to rebuild. And if you don't have the right protocols in place, your body is essentially staying in breakdown mode 24 hours a day. This is the problem we need to validate right now. You might feel like you are doing everything right. You buy the expensive serums, you take the multivitamins, you walk your 10,000 steps, but you still look in the mirror and see a tired, sagging reflection that doesn't match your energy. The hidden culprit here isn't that you aren't doing enough during the day. It is that you are inadvertently sabotaging the night shift. Your body has a dedicated crew of hormones and enzymes designed to reverse the day's damage. But for women post-menopause, that crew is easily locked out of the building. When estrogen drops, your margin for error at night disappears. A late snack, a warm room, or the wrong pillow can literally stop the anti-aging machinery in its tracks. In this conversation, we are going to fix that. We are going to walk through 4 specific science-backed nighttime routines that will turn your sleep from a passive pause into an active anti-aging therapy session. These aren't just general wellness tips. These are targeted biological interventions designed for the physiology of women over 50. By the end of this video, you will have a checklist that ensures you wake up biologically younger with tighter skin, a clearer brain, and a faster metabolism than when you close your eyes. Before we get into the first routine, I want to invite you to join our growing community of women who are rewriting the rules of aging. Consider subscribing to the channel right now. We share the kind of deep dive senior health tips that doctors often overlook in brief 15-minute checkups. And I'd love to know who I'm talking to. Where are you watching from tonight? Drop your city or state in the comments below. It is always so grounding to see how far-reaching this community really is. Let's begin with the first routine, and we have to start with the most powerful anti-aging hormone your body produces, human growth hormone, or HGH. This routine is all about the metabolic window. You see, as we age, our natural production of HGH plummets. In your 20s, it was a roaring river. Over 50, it's a trickle. This hormone is responsible for keeping your skin thick, your muscles taut, and your fat stores low. The only time your body naturally releases a significant pulse of this youth serum now is during deep, slow wave sleep. And this is a massive, but there is one thing that completely blocks this release: insulin. This brings us to our first actionable habit. You must stop eating at least 3 to 4 hours before you sleep to essentially starve your body into a repair state. I know this sounds strict, but let's look at the data. A fascinating study presented at the American College of Cardiology by researchers from the Intermountain Medical Center Heart Institute found that during a fasting window, HGH levels in women increased by an average of 1,300%. That is not a small margin. That is a physiological revolution. When you eat a late dinner or have a snack while watching TV, your blood sugar rises and your pancreas releases insulin to manage it. Insulin is a jealous hormone. It refuses to share the stage. If insulin is present in your blood when you fall asleep, HGH will not be released. Imagine your body as a construction site. The day crew tears things down, and the night crew is supposed to come in and fix the cracks in the foundation. HGH is the foreman of that night crew. If you eat late, it's like changing the locks on the gates. The foreman shows up, sees he can't get in because insulin is blocking the door, and he goes home. The damage from the day the micro tears in your collagen, the metabolic waste stays unfixed. If you do this every night, you accelerate aging rapidly. But if you close the kitchen early, you unlock that gate. So here is the takeaway. If you go to bed at 10 p.m., you must be done eating by 6:30 p.m. or 7 p.m. at the absolute latest. This allows your insulin levels to crash back to baseline before your head hits the pillow. It might be difficult at first, especially if you use food to soothe yourself in the evening, but try swapping that snack for a cup of chamomile or peppermint tea. The reward is that you turn your 8 hours of sleep into a metabolic fat burning and skin thickening session. You aren't depriving yourself, you are treating yourself to a dose of natural medicine that money cannot buy. Now that we have set the metabolic stage, we need to move seamlessly to the second routine, which focuses on the structural health of your brain. We often worry about wrinkles on our face, but we should be equally concerned about the wrinkles in our cognition, brain fog, memory lapses, and the fear of dementia. This routine is called the cerebral rinse, and it is entirely dependent on your sleep position. For years, scientists were baffled by how the brain cleans itself. The rest of the body has the lymphatic system to drain waste, but the brain is a closed loop. It wasn't until recently that we discovered the glymphatic system, a plumbing system that opens up only when you sleep to wash away toxic proteins like beta amyloid, which are the plaque building blocks of Alzheimer's disease. But here's the catch. This system relies on gravity and physical orientation to work effectively. This is where the science gets incredibly specific and actionable. A study published in the Journal of Neuroscience by researchers at Stony Brook University used dynamic MRI scans to observe this cleaning process in real time. They discovered that the lateral sleeping position, sleeping on your side, was consistently the most efficient for clearing waste from the brain compared to sleeping on your back or your stomach. The researchers suggest that the lateral position aligns the pipes of the glymphatic system in a way that maximizes flow, almost like unkinking a garden hose. Think of your brain like a sponge that has soaked up dirty water all day. If you just let it sit there, the dirt stays trapped. But when you lie on your side, the lymphatic fluid can rush through the tissues, effectively squeezing that sponge out under fresh running water. If you wake up feeling groggy with a heavy head or a slow mind, it is often because that wash cycle didn't finish properly. For women over 50, preserving cognitive function is the ultimate key to independence. So we have to take this seriously. Your actionable advice here is to train yourself to be a side sleeper. I know this can be challenging if you have hip bursitis or shoulder pain, which are so common in our demographic. The trick is to use props. Place a thick pillow between your knees to align your hips and take the pressure off your lower back. Hug a pillow against your chest to support your top shoulder so it doesn't collapse forward. You want to create a stable, comfortable nest that keeps you on your side without tossing and turning. By doing this, you are literally power washing your brain of the aging toxins that threaten your memory. As we move from the brain to the surface, we have to address the organ that reveals our age to the world first, the skin. Our third routine is the moisture barrier seal, but we are going to approach this with a scientific understanding of circadian rhythms, not just cosmetic fluff. You might have noticed that your skin feels drier now than it did 10 years ago. That is because of the drop in estrogen, which reduces oil production. But there is another factor. Your skin has a biological clock. During the day, your skin is in defense mode, fighting off UV rays and pollution. At night, it switches to absorption and repair mode. This is when blood flow to the skin increases, which is great for delivering nutrients, but it comes with a dangerous side effect, transepidermal water loss, or TEL. Your skin heats up at night and becomes more permeable, meaning it lets moisture evaporate at a rapid rate. If you sleep without a barrier, you are essentially letting your face dehydrate for 8 hours straight. This is why wrinkles look so much deeper in the morning. They are literally etched in by dryness. We need to intervene with a routine that halts this water loss and stimulates collagen. We also need to talk about the gold standard of anti-aging ingredients, retinoids. A landmark study published in the Archives of Dermatology proved that topical retinol does more than just exfoliate. It actually induces the synthesis of collagen and glycosaminoglycans, the water-holding molecules in your skin. For women over 50, natural collagen production has slowed to a crawl. Retinol is the megaphone that yells at those lazy skin cells to wake up and get back to work. However, because our skin is thinner, retinol can be irritating. This is why we use the sandwich method. Imagine your skin as a dried up riverbed. If you pour a strong chemical on it, it might crack. You need to flood it with water first, Treat it and then seal it. Here is your step-by-step evening ritual. First, cleanse gently, no harsh scrubbing. Then, apply a moisturizer rich in ceramides or hyaluronic acid. Let that sink in. This is your hydration layer. Next, apply a pea-sized amount of retinol or retinaldehyde. Finally, and this is the step most people miss, seal it all in with a facial oil or a heavier night cream. This final layer acts like a lid on a pot of boiling water. It physically traps the moisture and prevents that transepidermal water loss we talked about. By sandwiching the active ingredient, you get the collagen boosting signal of the retinol without the irritation, and you create a humid, hydrated environment for your cells to repair themselves. You wake up with that bounce because you have literally preserved the water content of your cells. It transforms your sleep from a dehydrating event into a marinating treatment. If you are finding these tips useful so far, and if you are enjoying this deep dive into the why behind the advice, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps us reach more women who are looking for real answers, not just trends. Now, we must address the fourth and final routine, which is perhaps the most profound because it controls the master switch of aging, stress, and temperature. We are going to talk about thermal downregulation. You might think you are relaxed when you go to bed, but if your core body temperature is too high and your cortisol levels haven't been manually lowered, your body is technically in a state of low-grade fight or flight all night long. Cortisol is the stress hormone. In short bursts, it saves your life. Chronically, it destroys it. High cortisol eats collagen for breakfast. It thins the skin, increases belly fat storage, and fragments your sleep. For women over 50, the adrenal glands often pick up the slack for hormone production as the ovaries retire, making us more sensitive to stress. We need a physical trigger to tell the adrenal glands to stand down. We can hack this system using temperature. Your body is programmed to initiate sleep when its core temperature drops. This drop signals the pineal gland to release melatonin. If your room is too hot, that signal is weak. But we can supercharge this with a counterintuitive trick, the warm bath. A systematic review of data published in Sleep Medicine Reviews by researchers at the University of Texas at Austin found that taking a warm bath or shower 1 to 2 hours before bedtime significantly improves sleep latency, the speed at which you fall asleep, and sleep efficiency. It's known as the warm bath effect. When you soak in warm water, your blood vessels dilate and blood rushes to your skin's surface to your hands and feet. When you get out of the tub and step into a cooler room, that heat rapidly radiates out of your body. This causes a steep, sudden drop in core body temperature. This temperature plummet is the biological trigger that screams to your brain, it is time to sleep deep. It does double duty. The warmth relaxes the muscles, physically lowering the tension that keeps cortisol high, and the subsequent cooling knocks you out faster than a sleeping pill. So your actionable takeaway is to institute a hydrotherapy transition about 90 minutes before bed. It doesn't have to be a long, luxurious spa hour every night. Even a 10-minute warm shower works. But the key is the timing. You want to be done about an hour before sleep, so your body has time to cool down. Combine this with keeping your bedroom cool around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. Think of this routine as unwinding a tightly coiled spring. If you just jump into bed with a spring tight, high cortisol, high temp, it will vibrate all night. By using the warm water and the cool room, you manually unwind the spring. You allow your nervous system to switch from sympathetic fight or flight to parasympathetic rest and digest. This is the state where true anti-aging magic happens. Let's pause for a moment and look at the whole picture we have painted here. We aren't just talking about generic sleep hygiene. We have constructed a fortress of biology to protect your youth. First, we manage the metabolic window by stopping eating 3 hours before bed to lower insulin and skyrocket human growth hormone, giving your body the raw materials to rebuild muscle and skin. Second, we optimize the lymphatic system by adopting a side sleeping position to physically wash the toxins out of our brain, protecting our memory and cognitive sharpness. Third, we instituted the collagen command by using the sandwich method with moisturizers and retinoids to halt water loss and stimulate cellular rebuilding, turning your skin into a self-repairing organ. And finally, we utilize the cortisol break by manipulating body temperature with a warm bath and a cool room to force the nervous system into a deep repair state, lowering the stress hormones that age us faster than anything else. It sounds like a lot when you list it all out, but in practice, it flows quite naturally. You finish dinner at 6:30, you do your skincare sandwich at 8, you take a warm shower at 8:30. You get into a cool bed at 10 and lie on your side with your pillows. It becomes a rhythm, a ritual of self-respect. And I want to be real with you. Changing habits is hard. There will be nights when you want the late night ice cream. There will be nights when your hip hurts and you just want to lie on your back. There will be nights when you are too tired to wash your face. That is okay. Perfection is not the goal. Consistency is. If you do these things 80% of the time, you will see 90% of the results. The beauty of these routines is that they put the control back in your hands. We are often told that aging is something that happens to us, something we just have to endure. But the science shows us that is not entirely true. We have levers we can pull. We can dictate how our cells behave. We can choose to support our biology rather than fight against it. As you adopt these changes, you might not see a difference in day 1 or day 2, but give it 2 weeks. You will wake up one morning and realize you didn't hit the snooze button. You will look in the mirror and see a brightness in your eyes that hasn't been there in a while. You will touch your skin and feel that it's softer, more hydrated. That is the compound interest of health. It builds up slowly, and then suddenly you are rich in vitality, your independence, your strength, your ability to keep up with grandkids or travel or just enjoy your garden. All of that depends on the maintenance work you do at night. You are worth that maintenance. You are worth the effort it takes to close the kitchen early. You are worth the extra 5 minutes of skincare. I have a question for you to answer in the comments below, and I really want you to think about it. Which of these 4 routines feels the most doable for you to start tonight? Is it the bath, the earlier dinner? Let me know which one you are going to tackle first. Writing it down is the first step to making it real. If you found this video helpful, if you learned something new about how your body works, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Do it because your health is worth fighting for and because we have so much more to explore together. I want you here for the next conversation. Remember, the mirror doesn't define you, but it does reflect how you treat yourself. Treat yourself like the precious, complex, biological miracle that you are. Sleep well, live well, and I will see you in the next video.